Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the show this Wednesday, the 20th of December, 2023. Thank you for tuning in. Glad to have you guys here. I'll tell you guys what, everything is shaping up to come due. All the troubles that we've been seeing developing and working toward a culmination are setting up to come due in 2024. In other words, time to pay the piper. I'm not so sure that we should every year we celebrate the new year coming in because we figure the new year is going to be better than the last. This one, oh my goodness. Maybe we should just sit down and think, hey, when the new year rings in, think, what are we in for crying out loud this year? This is setting up to be a monumental year. I can put it in no other fashion except to say a monumental year. Let's get in there and take a look at some of the things that are developing. I spotted this story on here. I don't know how you guys feel about it, but me, I find it repulsive. They're taking, in your cities, you got that big thing that's part of the city that's got where they pump all the sewage. Wastewater. Wastewater is another way of saying sewage. Well, you wouldn't know they're doing it in California, wouldn't you? Let's hope they keep it in California. California okays new rules for turning wastewater directly into drinking water. And you see some lady here holding up, I assume she's a lady, holding up two beakers. I guess they're basically saying, okay, this one here is wastewater, and this one here is drinking water. You're going to turn the wastewater directly into drinking water. I don't know about that. It just gets me. So it's just something about it. I find that it says when a toilet is flushed in California, the water can end up in a lot of places. Ice skating rinks near Disneyland. I didn't know they're putting in the ice. You imagine just skating around, you're in a skating rink or whatever, an ice skating rink, and your ice skate catches on something. You say, what's that? It looks like a little chunk of toilet paper. Okay, enough of this. We got to move on. The world's just going from bad to worse. And we're the ones that's sitting out here. We got to try to navigate through all this CRAP. Anyway, Texas to arrest illegal immigrants and challenge the federal government. So they got them pouring across the border, millions of them. So is this a solution? I'm going to ask a question. Is this a solution? It says Texas has enacted a new law that will make border crossing illegal and punishable with jail time. So what jail are they going to put them into? U.S. jail or Mexican jail? Question I'm asking. I don't know. I'm just reading this, and I don't know what in the heck's going on. I'm just trying to figure it out. But if there's millions of them, is the jail system even big enough to hold everybody that they're going to punish with jail time? It says Texas has enacted a law that will make border crossing illegal and punishable with jail time. I'm going to tell you something about the jail system. I think in a lot of places the jail system now is something that's run by companies. And they put in a bid for every prisoner, and they get a certain amount of money. I think it's like $30 or $40 or $50,000. I remember it's a tremendous amount of money that they get for every prisoner. What's the same thing? It's just like the military-industrial complex. When they build a military shell, their cost is like $5.49, and they charge the military like $8,000 or whatever. It's just, and it would be the same thing with each head that they can count in their prison system. And these are private companies getting paid, I guess, to run these prisons and stuff. And every head that they can get into prison, it makes them a tremendous amount of money. I forget what the figure was, but I know it's like if these people were out on their own, out in the world, trying to support themselves or support a family, they get more money per head for the people in prison than you do in wages, and you're out there working and supporting a whole family with that amount of money. The system is so corrupt now that it's gone beyond measure in its corruption. Meanwhile, the Hamas leader visits Cairo and talks over another Gaza ceasefire. It's gathering pace, this thing, for another Gaza ceasefire. So the Hamas leader is visiting Cairo. And you remember yesterday on yesterday's show, I was trying to I was talking about the missiles that the Houthis are firing at the United States, and I said they probably only cost a few $100 or they're really cheap. And the missiles that America's firing back to stop these missiles have very expensive guidance systems, and they're expensive. So it's like this: the Houthis fire a missile, and the American ship fires a missile to stop the missile that's coming at them. Maybe they'll miss, so then they'll fire two. Well, it's no big deal. They got lots of them. They got a whole big thing down in the ship there, probably full of them. They probably got dozens of them there. Well, how much does each one cost? They fire one. Oh, we missed. Let's fire another one. Bang! They fire another one out the tube. Shoo! It goes through the air. And this one hit. Wow, we got it. We knocked the missile down. So what does it cost? A Houthi missile, and what does an American missile cost? That's what I was getting at yesterday. Well, where is it here? I got it on here. Okay, here it is, right here. The American missile cost $2 million. Who's paying for that? You are. Oh, they miss. They fire one, they miss. Okay, fire another one. No problem, boys. Another $2 million down the pike. Guess what the Houthi missile costs? 2,000. So the exchange, say the Houthis fire one missile or one drone, $2,000 costs the Houthis. Say the Americans fire one missile and they miss. The first one misses and they fire a second one. Yay! We got the Houthi drone. That just cost $4 million, tax-paying dollars. No problem. They just strike it up, and that's just another day's loss. It's no problem because you're paying for it all. So why do they got to worry about it? They don't have to worry about it. It's no problem. You're paying for it. And right now over there, more than 100 container ships have been rerouted now from the Suez Canal to avoid these Houthi attacks. 100 container ships. That's a lot. Rerouted, what does that mean? That means they're going to have to go all the way around Africa. I think it's like another 30 days added to their trip. That means you ain't going to get your goods for an extra 30 days. But then there's all these extra fuel costs, all these other extra personnel costs for the people working on the ships, all the extra added expense of layovers and everything else. By the time it comes around the Horn of Africa and you do get your product, it's going to cost more. It's going to add to inflation. But now, here's the thing. Yesterday, I might have been jumping the gun just a little bit because what's happening right here with these 100 container ships rerouted from the Suez Canal? What's happening with that? It's going to take a few months to show up. And I'm jumping right in there yesterday and saying, okay, inflation's going to go up, so on and so forth. you're not going to feel the financial effects of this for a few months. And so the markets out there are already counting their chickens. Like I say, 125. They've already priced in the market for 125 basis points of downwards movement in the interest rates, in the overnight rate. So the market's already saying, "Hey, you know what? They're already pricing in that cut." And of course, because this situation is not going to affect that until sometime next year, it's sometime next year that the market's going to figure that out. They're not going to figure it out until it starts to really hit and impact. And it's not going to impact for a few more months. So we're a few months ahead on this. So don't expect the market to completely fall out of bed right now. But it's setting it up for a market fall, because when the Fed first off, the Fed's not going to react to the markets if the markets are good. If it's all good, why should they bother? It's just like you're driving your car down the road, and you ain't going to react to problems with your car until your engine conks out. Then you're going to say, "Oh my goodness, I better get this fixed," or whatever. A lot of times anyway, that's maybe not the best illustration. But Zelensky here in Ukraine. Now we're switching the subject over to Ukraine and the war in Ukraine, because so many wars going on. We got to cover all this stuff. What's going on right now? And it says Zelensky could mobilize 500,000 new soldiers. I heard that they're going to start recruiting the women of Ukraine, Ukrainian women, to fight. That's what I heard. I don't know if it's true, but that's what I heard. It says Kiev is dealing with a manpower shortage. I don't know if it says anything here about them mobilize. It says, when asked if he would approve the mobilization of women. Okay, so it is here in this article. So we'll find out right now. It says, when asked if he would approve the mobilization of women, Zelensky said, "Women, no. I will not sign it. As for 25-year-old men, yes, but the argument is still presented as of today that it is necessary, so I agree with it." So evidently, they're not down to that point yet where they're going to mobilize women. I think in some cases, a woman fighter might be actually better than a man fighter. For one thing, right off the get-go, they're a smaller target. That does mean something in warfare. The smaller a target you can represent, the harder a target is to hit. Just saying. And they can pull a trigger just like a man. And I think there's a lot of women out there that could maybe fight better than men. Just saying. Now, what was I looking at here? Oh, yeah. So it's $2 million a missile for the United States missiles and $2,000. Now we know how much. Trying to find where I'm at in my show here. Okay, we're gonna take a look at the silver price today. It's going up, and I had to get a little bit different charts here. I couldn't, my charts I've been using for silver, they wouldn't even come up today. So I had to go to silverprice.com or whatever. And we got this chart right here that shows the price is going up today. It's up 27 cents to 24.32 today for silver. Gold is down $6.71 at 21.34. No, 20.34. 20.34 for gold today. Now we're going to take a look at cryptos. Bitcoin's doing real good today. It's up. It's at 43,687. So it's like 42,000 yesterday. So it's gained like $1,500 overnight. Ethereum is at 22.23. XRP is at 61.8 cents. So the cryptos are doing good right now. Dow Jones Industrial Average today is up 26 points at 37,584. It just keeps going up. But you know, inflation adjusted, it hasn't been going up. What happened is we hit these peaks here way back in 2021, you know, and it's went up a little bit from that now, you know. This is the first time it's went up a little bit above these peaks we made back here. But you got to understand, this is a couple years of inflation going on here. So what does that mean? Well, inflation's been running somewhere around, well, it was up as high as, like, I would say the real inflation, not the CPI, but the real rate of inflation was around 16%. Right now it's probably around 8%, 6 to 8%. That's the real inflation. So if you count what it's really doing to your dollars, if you add those, say, 2 years up, you know, and the real cost of inflation, and say 1 year it was 16%, and this year it's 8%, well, that's 24%, right? Total. And now the market has not went up 24% past these peaks right here that were made of 36,231. To keep up with inflation, this market would have had to have made 24% over those peaks of 36,231, and we've really only made about 1,000 points above, which would be, what would that be in percentage wise? Maybe 1 or 2% or something like that. And so the market is really, when you consider the inflation in, the market is actually lower than it was at these peaks right here when you consider inflation in. You know, it's not substantially lower, but I'm just saying, you know, it's what you can buy with the money. If with that money you had in the market, what you could buy with that money a couple years ago and what you could buy with it now. That's all I'm saying. Anyway, crude oil today is at 75.18. It's up $1.24. And I'm sure the reason why this crude oil is up is because of the tensions in and around the Middle East. I can almost say that with a certainty. Okay, taking a look at your bonds and rates today, and we got falling yields. We got a U.S. 30-year, it's 4.03, and it's fell 0.6 of a basis point. And the U.S. 10-year is fell 2.1 basis points at 33.9. So that's where our bond yields are doing today. Now, the U.S. dollar index is at 102.28, and she's going along sideways today. Well, a lot of bounces, but it's going along sideways. Thank you guys for listening to my show. Like and subscribe, and we'll catch you guys in the next episode. You guys have a great afternoon. Bye-bye.